Today, I thought that those of you in my audience who enjoyed my recording of Chariots of Fire would be interested to see exactly how I came to be able to do it. So, my keyboard is a Yamaha PSR-530. It may be almost 15 years old now, but I'm still learning how to do great stuff with it, even today. And this is the main display screen. And when you turn it on, the default settings are grand piano voice and style number 1, which is 8-beat pop number 1. And when you turn it on, it sounds like this. And then you can turn on auto accompaniment and play a chord. Kind of sounds like Every Breath You Take by the Police, doesn't it? But we want it to sound like Chariots of Fire. So, in order to make that happen, first thing I needed to do is change some of the auto accompaniment tracks that you see here. So, what you have to do is press the revoice button and remove this drum track and remove this track and remove this track. There we go. So now these three tracks are the only tracks that are going to play the next time that I turn the auto accompaniment on. Then I have to change the rock kit, and all that you'll hear by this point are the cymbals because the main drums have been muted. Change this from rock kit to synth drum. Now, this track is the bass track, and it just plays a finger-picked bass by itself. I'll just turn the drum off for a second so I can show you. Now the audio accompaniment is on, but I'm not playing any drums, and we'll just hear sounds like a good enough bass, but first of all, it's not fast enough, and secondly, we're going more for that sound of Chariots of Fire. So we change this bass from a finger bass to synth bass, or to a synth pedal bass. And then we speed up the tempo to 128 beats per minute. And whoops, I changed the voice, I didn't change the tempo. Hang on a minute. Okay. Tempo 128 beats a minute. Okay. And then we had this on piano, and originally I did in fact want to play the grand piano sound and maybe play a string section at the same time. But when I heard this piano, I almost thought it sounded too ordinary. It sounds nice, but it's almost a little too ordinary. It's not special enough, quote unquote. So I decided to change that sound to what they call a MIDI grand piano, and there are synth strings underneath that. So as a result, we get and then the last element of the song, before I tell you about that, we should probably check the accompaniment settings. No drums just yet, but we just want to play the bass for now. So, turn the accompaniment on. There it is. There's our synth bass. Add in the guitars a little bit later. Every other recording that I heard of Chariots of Fire has some kind of guitar backing on it, so. So there is our bass and accompaniment. Now, the last element, this is going to be kind of hard to do when I'm holding the camera with one hand, is I had to program one of these buttons, called the multi-pad, to play kind of the fanfare that you hear at the beginning of the piece. I did it on kind of a horn effect, and it just goes like this. Right? But I decided, for convenience's sake, that I would program those notes into a button, and when you watch the video, you hear me playing the melody line, and I don't know if you can see from the angle of the video, but when I'm playing it, you hear me playing the melody in my right hand and sort of stretching one of my fingers up to play the two fanfare notes on a button. So I don't actually know if I should try this now with only one hand, but to program those notes in, I had to press the record button here. This will give you the sound recording menu and song recording. And then I had to specify the button that I wanted to program. And that'll give me user pad 2, and then I had to make sure that the keyboard is on the voice setting that I wanted, which it is, number 176. That's the voice that will play when I play the keyboard. And with these dots over here, the keyboard is keeping time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how fast the rhythm is currently set. So what I had to do in order to get this to work is wait for the right moment and then play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Now, I played those notes using middle C, and you kind of have to do it that way because the keyboard is set to record programmed notes based upon a middle C major scale. So if I've done this right, after I push stop and stop recording and play on user pad 2, yep, it worked. And when I play the auto accompaniment, oops, I can't play it just yet, I gotta switch out of revoice mode there. And when I play the auto accompaniment, actually I can't do this with only one hand, but the keyboard is set so that when I press the chord, the pad will play in the chord that it's supposed to. So that's a very general overview of the elements that I needed to play Chariots of Fire. Hope you enjoyed it.